believe is in a week from now or so, one that you've had a lot of people chatting about, and that's marine collagen. Now, when I was reading the reviews, I kept on reading different areas of benefit. People saying their wrinkles around the eyes seemed better. People saying they were more active or their joints feel better. And there's different marine collagen products out there. How did this come to be, and where does this come from, and how does it work?
Well, it's an ingredient that we get our ingredient from Japan, from the best supplier of collagen peptides in the world. And marine collagen is the type of peptides that has the best science, the best research. I'd rather not use bovine cow collagen peptides or porcine pig collagen peptides. I prefer to go to where the original science is, where the best science is, and use marine collagen peptides. And a week from now, 8 days from now, I'll be talking about this Today Special, and specifically speaking about science that discusses the benefits of these marine collagen peptides. And what's great about ours, they started off with I don't always make perfect products. The product was great in terms of benefit, but it tasted fishy and it didn't dissolve well. And over the last 10 years since we introduced this, and we were one of the first companies to be talking about marine collagen peptides, unfortunately, they've now become so popular that I suspect in the future, there's going to be a dramatic increase in price for collagen peptides everywhere, unfortunately. We've really been able to reduce our price over the last 10 years, but it might be going in the other direction in the future. But it's an ingredient. Collagen is the predominant protein in our body. I call it an integrating protein in that it's necessary to integrate the structure of our joints, the structure of our skin. So whether we're talking about wrinkles or cellulite or use and comfort of our joints or even flexibility of our arteries and our veins, we have to be talking out of necessity about collagen. And this ingredient, these marine collagen peptides, have been proven to be well absorbed and then integrated into the tissues in our body that require them.
I mean, you say wrinkles and cellulite, and you know all the girls here in the studio, their eyes and their ears perk up.
Oh, not just girls. We're talking, I've friends, gentlemen, who are just excited about the difference this makes in their skin, as any woman is. So it's not just the women nowadays who are considering the quality of their skin and their appearance, which I think, we don't want to be unnecessarily vain, but I think part of good self-esteem is taking good care of ourselves. And if we take good care of ourselves, we should be able to look our very best and retain as much of the youthful properties of our skin and our joints as possible.
Well, I'm having a glass right now, Andrew. I was showing everybody how quickly and easily it dissolves. Our producer, Steve, of course, honestly raves about this every time we're on the air. He's actually in my ear right now saying he puts it and adds it to his smoothie. I mean, how much would you have, Andrew, on a daily basis? Was it 1 drink per day, for example?
I just have 1 scoop. That's it. If you want to follow the science, actually, you could do half a scoop and you're still benefiting from the science. Okay. The way we consider serving size, 1 scoop is 5 grams. Right. There's science talking about 2.5 grams. I just read a great study that was talking about 1 gram. So at 5 grams, that's plenty. There's no need to take multiple scoops every day. So at 5 grams, you're getting what you need. The product, when we introduced it, had a fishy taste and wasn't soluble. Now the product dissolves instantly, has absolutely no flavor. So you can mix it in smoothies, you can mix it in water, and it's a pleasure to use. So we've transformed the product based upon the feedback, and it wasn't easy, but now it's better than ever.
You get it here first, folks. It's not a Today Special for another week. We're going to wrap up in a big way. Andrew, I don't think I've ever seen this done before, but I know just a few short weeks ago, you sold out completely of your phytoceramides Today's Special.